Hello YouTube and welcome to the long-awaited second instalment of our camper pod trailer building. Episode 1, if you haven't watched it, basically we picked up and stripped this out. There was a whole lot of stuff in there that wasn't needed. It wasn't done to a great standard, so it's all stripped out, ready to go. And in today's video, we're going to be prepping and Raptor painting this beast. I'm going to give you a quick walk around some of the workmanship, I'm going to call it, so you can see what's going on and what we're going to need to do to get this ready to start building. So the entire framework on the inside was actually screwed through the outside into the framework to hold it to the body. So that means it's full of holes, and I mean full of holes. Even on the roof, he screwed down the awning just through the roof, no sealant, no nothing, so that would have leaked like a sieve. Things get worse around the side. You can see this is the best of the arches, the filler work, and then he's just painted over it, and it's I want to say abysmal, and that is the best. That's the best filler work on the job. Is some of the not so good filler work that he's done. So there's going to be a lot of prep work involved in there. Again, more fantastic filler in, more holes. These holes are going to take, we're going to have to fiberglass these holes because they're so big. So much work to do. Again, more brilliant filler work there. You can see he's painted the whole thing apart from this section at the back. Must have just ran out of rattle cans. You can see the prep work on these doors was absolutely brilliant because it's all just flaked off. Again, up here just flaked off, but you can see there's been no prepping in there whatsoever, so you can see why it's just, you know, flaked off. Again, more top-notch filler work, check that out, and then just start painting over it because that's a great finish. I'll take a moment to introduce you to the newest member of the team. Obviously, if you've been watching for a while, you'll know Hooch, and you'll also know Jasper, but now we've got Peach. Say hi, Peach. So there's a lot of work to do, as you can see, just this prepping and paintwork video. It is now the end of March. For a bit of time reference for you, it's that week where we had a week of sun and now it's cold. That's the time frame where I've started filming this video. I don't know how long it's going to take because there is so much work to get this thing painted. Such a small project is going to be a massive task. So I'm going to get cracking with some sanding. So I'm about 3 minutes into sanding the front end. We've unearthed this. More great filler work that is soft and squishy. So he's probably used household filler. Either that, or didn't realise you need to put hardener in it. Let's see what else we find. I think the fiberglass might be coming out to fix this one. You see just more disadvantages of poor prep. You can see how the paint's just flaking off. In fact, you can still see, you know, that has not been sanded at all. And if you don't prep right, this is exactly what's going to happen. There's nothing to keto and the paint will not stick. All this is going to have to be sanded back. I dread to think how yellow it's going to be when I've finished. So around the wheel arches on these questionable filler jobs, I'm resorting to a grinder with a flappy paddle, like quite a used flappy paddle, so we don't go too mad, to get all that filler off. So I mean, that could be marketed as a climbing wall. So after some extensive work with the grinder, I've found what I'm guessing is the old filler cap for the fuel, full of filler. So that all is going to have to come out and be fiberglassed, because that is just way too big a hole to be fillered. I am surprised that hasn't fallen off. You can see a few taps with the hammer and it's just coming away in one piece. While down in this area uncovering that, I'm going to take these wheel arches off that are just screwed into the body, and as you can see, fit fantastic. So yeah, they're coming off. What possesses someone to do this when you've just got a perfectly shaped standard arch, lovely, solid as a rock, and someone thinks that's a good idea? These people live among us. So I also had to remove these gutter rails, because as you can see, the prep work leading up to it is now impossible, and it's even worse than the rest of the trailer. It's literally just rubbing off because you just can't get in and prep that, so I had to take them off, and I've completely ruined them taking them off, so I'm gonna have to get some new ones, but needs must for a proper job. A quick update as far as we've got on the trailer. This has been a bit of a colossal task. There's been a lot more filler work than we expected. There was a massive dint there that we found, so we're building that up. These bumpers have basically needed reconstructing because they was absolutely ruined. All fiberglassed and filled the holes in the back. These doors were not prepped whatsoever, so this is just flaking off, so there's quite a bit more to do on there. The body job that there was in here, I'm currently building a wooden frame. I'm going to slot a solid piece of wood into there and then fiberglass over it to double strength, and then filler any bits that we don't get perfectly smooth with the fiberglass. Roof's all prepped. Alfie's been sat up there for about 3 days. All this has been fiberglassed, and then now I've just got a filler over the top to smooth it off. These doors aren't as bad, but were flaky. But yeah, I think I was planning to have it painted on Friday because I thought today was Wednesday, but I've just been informed that today is not Wednesday. Today is Thursday, so I don't think we're going to be painting it on Friday. I've lost a day. There we go, wooden frame in. We even added some screws into the wood just to give the fiberglass a better bite, and that means we can put a lot less filler in there now, so it's going to be a lot stronger and not crack the first time you go over a bump. We're finally ready to apply the first layer of paint. We're going to be doing that a bit different to how we normally do it, with the vari nozzle Raptor gun that we normally use, and we're going to actually be putting it through a primer gun, something that I've never done before. There's a bit of trial and error, but the initial layer is to go onto these roller shutters. We want it to be thinned down a bit and not the rough texture, to try and make sure we get into every single nook and cranny and area that it needs to go to into these doors, in there and there. We're then going to use the rest of that bottle to do a base layer, where there's, you know, where we've gone through the paint prepping, and also we're going to put adhesion promoter on these to help it stick, and also the bumpers, and put a base layer onto those as well. And the whole back door will need a base layer, just really to use the rest of the bottle up, because it's not going to take a lot to do those roller shutters. We don't want to waste it, because Raptor paint's getting a bit expensive now. I brought it inside before videoing, so camera quality is not as good, so I ended up finding a half bottle of Raptor, so we've not ended up going around and doing the other bits, because I wanted to really see how it was going to turn out. But if I'm completely honest, absolutely chuffed to bits with this finish. I can't touch it, it has just been painted. But as you can see, thinning it down, we actually thinned it down by 20%, and using a primer gun with a 2mm nozzle has given a much smoother finish than you would normally get. And a few technical hitches, because we needed to play around with the fans and everything. I'd love to tell you what I did, but in all honesty, I'm not entirely sure. I just played around with it until I got sort of the fan size and everything that I wanted. Yeah, it's just a much finer texture. So once these are dry, we can get them masked up, and then hit the whole thing. So we've masked the windows up, and now we're going to push it outside. Now, one Raptor painted trailer. We've used the vari nozzle gun to do the actual the black of the Raptor. If you want to know more about using the vari nozzle gun, I do go into a little bit more detail on what we've done and sort of techniques on the painting plastics with Raptor paint video, which I can link up. But yeah, I just need to get this masking tape off, get it back inside, and we can start doing the inside. There you go, masking tape off, and I just wanted to show the difference so you can see the fineness, you know, putting it through the primer gun with the 20% thinners, and that finishes there, and then you can see that thick texture and the texture difference between the two. So there you go, Raptor paint on, done, outside, finished. In the next video I'm going to be insulating and doing the electrics at the same time, because it's such a small vehicle. Is it a vehicle? Because it's such a small trailer, there's not going to be a lot of electrics going into this, so we're going to cram a few of the things into videos, you know, one or two things into the same video, just to try and speed the process up for you guys, and so you don't have to sit through a bazillion videos for such a tiny trailer. If you enjoyed that video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for everybody that has subscribed recently. We've had a massive influx in subscribers, and I genuinely can't thank you all enough. That's that one finished, and we'll see you back next time for installation and wiring.